Hello, I'm the Watchman, and I'm here to share an incredible sign that I've spoken briefly about in another video I made. But I would like, this sign just keeps coming back up to me, and I think it's very significant, and I think we need to go back and take a look at it. And this sign took place in October. I'm going to call it the sign of the two serpents. On October 13th, 2013, on Catalina Island in California, an 18-foot sea serpent washed up on the shore. It was dead. It was 18 foot long. These are called sea serpents, but they're actually a type of a fish. They're called oarfish, and they're very rare and they're very elusive. Historically, when these serpents show up, it's usually a sign of movement in the deep oceans, of seismic activity. Usually the appearance of these very rare fish or serpents, they can grow up to 50 feet long and they look like a serpent. That's why they're called sea serpents traditionally. Is a sign of seismic activity. Whenever these things appear, usually there's earthquakes, not long after they happen. And we're not out of the woods on this yet. It's not even been 6 months since this happened. We're coming right up on 6 months since this happened now. It was an 18-foot serpent. It happened on October 13th. 5 days later, on October 18th, another one washed up on the shore. In California again. This one was 14 foot long, not as big as the first one, but pretty big and very rare. This doesn't happen. In fact, I don't remember a story like this that I can remember of these types of creatures appearing since I've been alive that I know of. I'm sure there have, but it's very rare. Now, God really worked with me. At this time, I was having a lot of synchronicities about serpents. And I released the video Obamacare Serpent Revelation, where I had the revelation that when Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, when they were being plagued by serpents, that this was a prophecy of the Antichrist, or the beast serpent, would eventually raise himself up on the cross as your healer, which I believe Barack Hussein Obama has done with Obamacare, very subtly, because we know a serpent is very subtle. It says in Genesis chapter 3, the serpent was the most subtle beast of all that God created. Subtle means hard to perceive. You're not going to recognize or notice what he's trying to do until it's too late. Now, October 13, Revelation 13, which deals with the beast and the mark of the beast, which, you know, Obama is, and if it is him, I believe God would be putting all sorts of signs, warning signs, everywhere in his matrix for you to be able to see, and this was a big one. When I made Obamacare, the Serpent Revelation, after I made the video, I went upstairs and turned the computer on, and that's when I found out that this second female sea serpent had washed up. And it was a female, and it was pregnant. It had a bunch of babies inside of it when they did an autopsy on it. We found out that the first one that came up on October 13th, the biggest one, was a male. So we had a male come up on October 13th, and we had a female come up on October 16th. This is the sign. The male sea serpent, or beast, that rose up out of the sea represents Obama, the king of Babylon. And it happened on October 13th, marking Revelation chapter 13 out. And it was the bigger one. Just like in Revelation 13, it says that the first beast is the main one. It's the main beast, who they all worship. And the second beast that comes up is smaller, but it's a female and it's pregnant. This identifies Francis as being the false prophet, or the second beast that it talks about in Revelation chapter 13. And it says, I beheld another beast, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. The second beast that comes up is a religious leader. It's the false prophet. The first beast is a political leader. The second is a religious, being the Pope, Francis. So we had two serpents that washed up within 5 days of each other. The first one happened on October 13th. It was 18 foot long, representing Revelation chapter 13, representing Obama, the beast, the larger beast that came up. 18 foot long. If you look in verse 18 of Revelation chapter 13, it says, Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. That's 666. That's Obama. And then the second one that came up on October 18th, when I made this Obamacare Serpent Revelation video, the same exact day, it was 14 foot long. In verse 14 of Revelation chapter 13, it's talking about the false prophet or the beast. It says, And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. So this second beast or false prophet is the one that causes everyone to worship the first beast. I think this is an incredible sign. These are very elusive animals. They're very rare for two of them to wash up within a week of each other. You know, with historical omens surrounding these fish, sea serpents. It says that the first beast came up out of the sea. This is a sign about Obama being the first beast, the bigger one who would rise up first, and Pope Francis being the second beast who is smaller, who comes up second, but was pregnant, which was a female, which represents the mother church, the harlot church of Revelation chapter 17. It says she was a mother. I'll point that out to you real quick. Revelation 17, it says, And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. The second sea serpent that came up was pregnant with hundreds of thousands of babies in it. Yes. And these are signs. I hope you can see that these are signs and understand that this is the way God works. And I'm going to read one more scripture that God's given me to read, and it's in Revelation chapter 12. You know, it calls Satan or Lucifer the serpent throughout the Bible. When we first encountered him, he was the serpent in the Garden of Eden. And now it seems at the end, as we're encountering him, he's the serpent at the end, the serpent of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, it says, And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. The interesting thing is Obama, the beast serpent, is meeting with Pope Francis, the false prophet, in March this month. And they will be discussing a lot of things. Economics, which it says that eventually they take control and you can't buy or sell unless you receive their mark. They're going to be talking about the fake peace process that's going on in the Middle East that's prophesied about. You're going to see them sit together and come together this month for the first time. The beast and the false prophet. The two serpents, with the sign of the two serpents happening on October 13th and October 18th of 2013. Thank you very much.